Now on a freighter ship, Pi leans on the rail of the main deck. He gazes back at the brilliant sun setting beyond his homeland on the horizon.
Pi, they're serving dinner below.
He faces forward, then looks back at the sun as his mother approaches. Gita stops beside her boy, following his gaze to the setting sun. Pi shifts his weight.
Issy, you have a whole life ahead of you. We are doing this for you and Ravi. Come inside and have some dinner.
Gita eyes her son, then walks away. Blinking rapidly, Pi keeps his gaze fixed on the horizon. Now in the eating quarters, Gita faces a husky, large-nosed cook.
Vegetarian, please.
He serves a plate with meat.
Oh, my sons and I are vegetarians. Do you have anything? No. Not for gravy.
You don't want gravy?
No.
Subtitles. No, I want something vegetarian. The cook reaches behind the counter and puts a morsel of parsley on the plate.
Pas de problème. Attends.
She asked if you have something vegetarian.
Végétarien.
The cook glances at the plate.
La vache.
The cow that produced this liver was vegetarian. The pigs that went into these sausages were vegetarian.
Très amusant.
Very funny, but my wife doesn't eat liver.
On ne mange pas de...
The cook shrugs and grabs another plate.
Pas de problème. Tu peux manger la saucisse.
Then she can eat the sausage, the rice, and the gravy. Or you can cook your own
Fais
food.
la cuisine elle-même.
How dare you talk to my wife like that?
Elle nous donnait du riz.
Here's your rice.
Moi je fais
I cook for sailors, not curry eaters.
pas aux mangeurs de carne.
Santosh grabs the cook. What did you say? Let go of me. Who do you think you are? You're nothing but a servant. I feed people, you feed monkeys. The sailors pull Santosh away from the crazy-eyed cook. Now the family sits with their eyes cast down as a teenage Asian boy joins them.
Hello. I am happy Buddhist, so I eat rice next to gravy. On ship, gravy is not meat. It's taste. You try?
Pi eyes the amiable boy and shakes his head with a smile. Now below the deck, two orangutans sit in a 4x4 cage. The larger one takes the smaller one's hand and comforts it. Pi sits outside the cage, watching them closely and eating a banana. His father dumps food in an ostrich pen as a camel and giraffe watch attentively. Stacks of animal crates line the cargo hold.
Don't worry. We will have plenty of fresh supplies after we stop in Manila.
Why give orange juice tranquilizers? Not gonna cause any trouble.
The stress of traveling is not good for the animals, and it helps with the seasickness. We don't want to be cleaning up after a seasick orangutan, do we?
Santosh stares at his son as he shoves pills into a banana. Pi shifts his gaze to the ship's floor.
My father was a businessman. He had never tended the animals himself.
Present day on a park bench.
I realized leaving India must have been harder for him than it was for me.
The rider watches him with a furrowed brow as adult Pi stares into the river before them.
So,
Yeah, have I forgotten anything?
I think you set the stage. So far, we have an Indian boy named after a French swimming pool on a Japanese ship full of animals heading to Canada.
Yes. Now we have to send our boy into the middle of the Pacific
And make me believe in God.
The rider nods and grins.
yeah. We'll get there.
Pi eyes the rider and flashes a quick smile. Facing the river, he leans forward.
It was 4 days out of Manila, above the Mariana Trench, the deepest spot on Earth.
A map of the South Pacific fills the screen.
Our ship, the Tsimtsum, pushed on, bullishly indifferent to its surroundings.
We zoom to the Mariana Trench.
It moved with the slow, massive confidence of a continent.
As we push through thick, churning storm clouds, deck lights illuminate a freighter in the night. Heavy rains pound on the swelling ocean. Ramping off a wave, the ship's bow lands hard on the seething surface. Water bursts upwards as it skips to another wave. Below deck, Pi slowly awakes in his cabin bunk. His eyes dart about. His parents sleep in a bed across the room. He leans down to the bottom bunk and shakes his sleeping brother.
Ravi, did you hear that, Ravi?
I'm sleeping.
It's a thunderstorm. Let's go watch.
Are you crazy? You will get hit by lightning.
No, we won't. It'll hit the bridge first.
Don't tempt a storm by...
Pi quickly pulls himself into his bunk as his mother rolls over. The hands on a travel clock point to 1:17. Pi climbs a flight of stairs and enters a corridor. The door swings shut behind him. He staggers and steadies himself on a railing as he moves along. Turning, he faces a door with a porthole. Pi peers through, the lightning flashing in the darkness. He turns the latch and the door swings open. The wind and rain lash in at him. Venturing out, Pi leans over a railing and scans his tempestuous surroundings. As he steps along a walkway, his feet slide on the wet flooring. He stumbles as the ship violently rocks and he catches himself on a banister. Pi climbs stairs to the next deck and slides on his bare feet again. He catches himself on a railing and clings to it as he beams down at the churning, roiling ocean. Stepping back, he looks skyward and waves his arms giddily. He struggles to perform a worshipful dance. He slips and staggers, then reaches skyward. He slides across the mini deck and falls. Getting to his feet, he notices a red light flashing from a high post. Falling again, Pi slides into a barrier at the edge of the upper deck. He braces himself and climbs to his feet. The ship plunges into a wave, sending water crashing over him. It leaves the upper deck flooded as he recovers. Pi watches two sailors moving frantically below with flashlights. A huge wave washes over the main deck, lifting them off their feet. Pi reaches for them futilely as they wash overboard. Sobered, he races back inside.
Mom!
He hurries downstairs.
Papa!
He staggers through a corridor.
Ravi! Get out! Get out!
Finding his level flooded, he dives into the water and swims. He passes a panicking zebra. Pi surfaces gasping, then submerges himself and swims onward. The team passes through a dark section, lit only by the pulsing red emergency lights. Reaching a door at the end of the corridor, he struggles to open it. It springs open, releasing a powerful current of water and air bubbles. Pi hangs onto the doorframe and tries futilely to pull himself into his family's quarters. Releasing it, he drifts back down the corridor and returns to the deck. An animal leaps past him. A bird seeks refuge in a nearby tower. Other animals struggle for footing on the rocking ship. Pi slides across the deck towards sailors in a lifeboat.
Please, save my family!
Don't scare, okay? Wait, stay here!
You have to help them!
A sailor gives him a life jacket.
Oh no, my family!
The Buddhist struggles to free a lifeboat carrying the cook.
You have to help them! My family's back there!
The Buddhist leaps to Pi.
You must go! Who let all the animals out? I have to go now! No, wait, my brother! You can't swim!
The Buddhist captain and a sailor shove him onto the boat. Pi tumbles across the canvas cover and hangs off the edge. The cook signals to the men on the ship. Pi climbs back up and scrambles around as the others shout at him. A sailor sees the cook fumbling with the boat's rigging. As Pi clings to one set of lines, the cook unfastens another. The Buddhist points at the zebra at the railing of an upper deck. The animal jumps, landing in the boat in a crashing heap. The boat tips and the cook falls off. Pi loses his grip on the lines and the lifeboat plummets to the sea. Pi lands on his belly and struggles to hold on as the boat bucks on the churning waters. Pi slides backward, landing in a wave that buoys him back on the boat again. It carries him past the shouting men at the edge of the ship's deck. A giant wave washes them from view. The lifeboat carries Pi through the wreckage. A boom sweeps low over his head. Escaping the wreckage, the lifeboat briefly capsizes. As it rights itself, we find Pi holding on tightly and the zebra lying inside. Pi peers across the giant waves and locates the sinking ship. He notices a whistle on his life jacket and blows it. frantically waves his arm at the ship. Peering into the seemingly endless expanse of rolling waves, Pi spots a figure in the water.
Hey! Over here! Over here!
Pi waves his arms. Finding a life preserver, he climbs up on the canvas secured tautly over the front half of the boat. He casts the flotation device out into the water with all his might. The lights of the capsizing ship twinkle and pulse in the distance as Pi uses a line to reel in the drowning figure. He slides a long-handled oar out from beneath the canvas cover and extends it over the water toward the life preserver. Two paws and a large furry head emerge from the center of the ring.
Just got it. No! 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 Go away! Go away!
Pi jabs feebly at the tiger with the oar. A wave carries the beast to the lifeboat's rim. Richard Parker grabs on and climbs partially aboard. Scrambling to the prow, Pi dives into the water. Getting his bearings, he looks back at the lifeboat, then gazes out over the roiling water. A giant wave looms stories high above him. Pi takes a deep breath and submerges. The wave briefly rolls him as it passes by. Staying under, Pi swims past a shark as he makes his way beyond the lifeboat. Turning, he finds himself facing the completely submerged ship. The teen halts and hovers in the water, his limbs splayed as he stares at the enormous craft. The deck lights glow as the ocean's depths claim the vessel. Pi looks on helplessly as the ship descends into the deep. Turning away, he swims past the shark again and approaches the lifeboat. Two other sharks fight over a fresh kill beneath him. The tempestuous waters swirl over Pi as he makes his way back to the surface. The teen thrusts his head above water and gasps. With long strokes, he swims back to the lifeboat. Pi grabs for a mast jutting 5 feet from the prow, but a passing wave compromises his reach. Another carries him to the boat's rim. Pi climbs onto the deck with a zebra who lies curled up on its side at one end. Knee-deep water sloshes around the deck. Pi climbs back on the canvas cover, then scrambles to the prow. He leans far out, clinging to the mast. A wave sends a blast of spray into his face. Shaking his head, he catches his breath and peers down into the water.
Amma! Amma! Navi! I'm sorry!
Another blast of sea spray drenches the teen.
I'm sorry!
He watches helplessly as the ship sinks further beneath the churning waves. The ocean's rippling surface distorts Pi's view of the lost vessel. We drift up and away from the boy as the lifeboat carries him over the ship's watery grave. A section at a time, the deck lights flicker, then blink out. Lightning flashes, then diminishes, leaving the boy alone in the darkness, fade to black.